Steve Siltman is the CEO of the Logan County Paramedic Association. They are out in what used to be Jim Glenn's car sales place.
Wide Track Glen.
On Old 66. And have lovely digs out there, by the way. It's very nice.
I know a fellow that did that.
And having had the opportunity innumerable times to take advantage of their business, because Buzz made his frequent trips to Springfield, you do a marvelous job, Steve. Your people are wonderful.
Thank you.
Just wonderful. I was thinking this morning about talking with you, and I thought maybe we could start with your telling us a little bit about what your people's educational background is. You are all EMTs. You are all paramedics.
Yes. All of the full-time people that we have are paramedics, and there are we have some part-time people, and I think right now we have 3 EMT basics and I think 2 EMT intermediates, but all the rest of them are paramedics.
And that's almost a doctor.
Well, not even close. But the educational portion of it would be that in order to start out with the EMT courses, you have to have a high school education, and you have to go through the EMT basic course, which is a 6-month course, and you may go through the EMT intermediate course if you wish, which is I think a 9-month course. But you can go from EMT basic directly into paramedic training, and that takes a year and a half. So in all reality, it's about a 2-year stint in taking courses. Once you get that EMT paramedic certification, then you have to have so many hours of continuing education and field work in order to keep your license up. And so that's a big deal for us, is we have continuing education every month, and along with our meetings and so forth.
Now, do you have to ship out to someplace else to take this
we do it internally.
Continuing ed?
Most of it we do it internally. However, there are some seminars and courses that are offered that we sometimes will ship people out to, but generally speaking, we do almost everything internally.
How many ambulance units do you have now?
We have 5, and if we run about 4,000 calls a year, and if we could space them out, run one call and then another call, we could do it easily with 2 ambulances.
Yeah, but you can't schedule
it. The way it works.
It's feast and famine.
Yeah, the real world.
They're either all sitting in the garage or most of them are out.
Yeah.
The other reason why we have 5 ambulances is because we cover so much ground with those rigs, and they're used hard, that we have a lot of breakdown problems. And so, we can afford to have one in the shop and still
be covered.
Operate.
But those are well equipped. I mean, you have a lot of
oh boy.
Rather.
Oh boy. We had just lost a new ambulance that we just had for less than 6 months. We get involved in a 20-car pileup about a week and a half ago, and the vehicle, being it was new, the replacement cost on that's $134,000, and all the contents right now run at $98,000. So it was nearly a $250,000 loss on that. And they're all equipped exactly the same. It doesn't matter which one you get in; they're all the same.
Now you have somebody and that probably might be Steve Siltman, who makes sure that everything on these ambulances is kept up to date, and so we don't have a shortage of this or that. And,
certainly.
You have
actually what the system we have is that the crews are split up into three different crews, 24-hour shifts. And so that crew of men and women that come in on their shift in the morning, they start out with washing the rigs and wiping them down and making sure the floors are clean, and then checking everything, make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, and then restocking as necessary. Plus, each time we go out on a call, when we get back, we also try to restock then as well. So we keep them pretty well stocked up and ready to go.
Yeah, it isn't like we're coming in on and signing in on duty and then sitting reading the magazine or watching TV.
No.
There are a lot of things to do on a day in and day out basis.
What is your territory? Do you do outside of, I know you take people outside of Logan County, but do you pick up people outside of Logan County?
Oh, occasionally, but our primary service area is Logan County. Any or emergency medical or medical issue that's needs to be transported in Logan County, we pretty much take care of, with the exception of there's a small area south of Armington that flows into Logan County that's part of Armington's fire district. And Armington has an ambulance, and they transport in their little section there, unless it's an ALS call. If it's an ALS call, we handle it. But
do they say ALS?
Advanced life support or paramedics. And if you know, so if there's a call in their section, they respond and we respond, and they usually get there faster because they're closer. And if they make an assessment and the patient doesn't need ALS care, then we just turn around and go back home.
How about the rescue units that most of the smaller communities in Logan County have? Do you have a nice rapport with all of them?
We have a great rapport, Judy, with the fire departments, rescue squads throughout the county, and there is a rescue squad and or fire department rescue squad in every community in the county. Every community.
And it might be appropriate to point out that these fellows, they just don't know how to fight fires. They have a lot of the EMT training, or certain ones do at least.
That's correct. Now the only those are all volunteers except for Lincoln City Fire and Lincoln Rural Fire. Those are the two areas that are staffed, paid departments or whatever you want to call it.
I didn't know the rural fire department was.
Oh yes, yeah, they have a staff there that's round the clock personnel, and then of course whenever they have their regular full-time people. I think it's 6 of them, I believe, 2 for each shift. You know, A shift, B shift, C shift, and then whenever they have a call, they have their paid volunteers come. They have carry pagers and stuff, and they all come swarming in and then go out on calls too. But I don't know exactly how many they have on staff. It's quite numerous. But as far as the full-time paid people, I think it's 6. I believe is correct.
Now, are all of these rescue unit people, the personnel who operate them in the communities, are they all or EMTs rather?
They're all EMTs. The only exception is the Lincoln City has some paramedics that are on staff with them and a few EMTIs. But generally speaking, if you go throughout the entire county, there are most all of them are EMT basics, and so. But I tell you that those volunteers are invaluable to the people of the community, because whenever we get a call, let's say to Emden, it's quite a little ways from Lincoln, and it takes a while for us to get there, even with emergency lights and siren. So it's vitally important for these rescue squads in those communities to be able to respond quickly, because there's a small percentage, but however small it may be, some of these emergencies must have somebody there to be able to start CPR or to begin some treatment before we get there. And so they're absolutely vital to the integrity of this whole EMS system that we have, emergency medical system that we have.
Before we introduce your associate, Steve, I want to ask a question about training. With the internet and online training and so forth, are there programs out there online that your folks can avail themselves of as far as refresher and so forth? Is that a part of your curricula?
Well, we have 2 licensed trainers on staff. Rob Cummings and Henry Brondike they're licensed as instructors. And they have a little office in our organization, and they're always searching for new material and so forth, either through magazines or through the internet or whatever, and then they research this stuff and then they'll present it.
Okay. Yeah. So you do take advantage of that type of technical background. Sure. Forget that. Let's introduce your associate here, Judy.
Yeah, Corey. Nice to see you. Corey Slack is a shift manager for, did he say third shift?
We have C shift.
C shift. Yeah. So you don't even have a third shift. You have a C shift.
No, just a C shift.
You can have that. That would be good. Now, that the hours for that are what?
7 a.m. to 7 a.m. the next morning.
Okay. So you're on 24, and then are you off 24?
48.
Off 48, kind of like the firemen do.
Yep, just like the fire department.
Okay, and how many people are on C shift with you then?
Myself and 4 others. So there's 5 of us total, which make up 3 crews. And then
3 crews.
Yeah, and then for
who
the
goes by themselves?
Well, they would take somebody from Lincoln Rural.
I see.
They're at the building, and then they would grab somebody from Lincoln Rural and go on a call if need be an emergency.
That's one of the advantages of the proximity to the 2 facilities.
Yeah, it is.
A big advantage.
That worked well for you.
Yeah, it did.
I assume that was planned, and they didn't accidentally say, "Well, I'm your new neighbor."
No, it was a cost savings for our organization and a revenue generating issue for them. So both entities benefited from this.
Yes.
Whenever we use third crew, one of their people from third crew, they get X amount of dollars for going on that call. But when you consider how much we pay them in a year's time, and then compare that with putting on yet 3 more full-time people in order to fill that third crew, it's a cost-saving situation, and it still produces the same results.
I want to talk about funding and cost, and speaking of funding and cost, we have to maintain this station, so we'll take a commercial break for funding and cost.